Okay. Hello, everyone. Happy September. Okay. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a wonderful night. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Olivia, and I am a 40K leader. I am a single mom, so I am gonna have Lincoln in the background. He'll probably do his thing, and that's fine. We're still gonna roll with it.
Liv, can you
And
mute everybody?
I think I just muted everyone. Okay. But yes, I'm a single mom and from a small town in Kentucky, and I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. And this is I titled this "Surrendering It All" and social media tips, and I'm going to go into what that is and just speak from my heart. I do have notes, and like an hour before I hopped on, I was getting in my head. I was like, what should I talk about? Because I knew I wanted to discuss some things that I personally experienced in my business. So I'm from experience with you guys tonight. And I know that surrendering, it can be a topic that some of us shy away from. That can seem like a weakness to some. And I want to kind of break down
Can you
what
tell
that's done
somebody's
for
not
me in my
unmuted?
business
They're not
and
muted.
what
It won't let me turn it down all the way.
what you can benefit from that.
Can you?
Your business will be able to benefit from you surrendering. And this is crazy, this waiting room. I'm so sorry. So okay, like I said, it does not mean you are weak. Surrendering simply is a daily thing for me. So in the mornings, if you don't have a morning routine, please get yourself a morning routine. If that is 30 minutes of time with God or your higher power, or 30 minutes of just you in alignment with something powerful, with something greater than yourself, I encourage you to spend that 30 minutes in the morning, because that is where I surrender. It's an every single day process where I have to let go of the things I cannot control with my business, with my finances, with my life, with my family, with relationships. I have to let go of those things and be sure that I am fulfilled, because if I'm not surrendering and I'm harboring all of this weight, it's going to slow me down. So I've noticed that when in my business, when I am trying to force things, it's because I haven't surrendered what I need to, and I'm not being authentic. So if you feel like it's forceful to work your business, or it's like you have an obligation and it's more of like a 9 to 5 thing to you, I'm going to need you to surrender what you're not in control of and what you keep holding on to, because that is where you can't be authentic and you can't be your best self. So I had to stop being hard on myself. When I surrender these things, I don't pick myself apart like I used to. I used to tell myself all of the things, like I would be so proud of my business, but at the end of the day, I would still find something wrong with what was going on. And I noticed I did not let go of things that are really harboring me. So I hope this is making sense. So you have to have respect for the season you're in your business, because for me, I was very hard on myself. So if you aren't respecting where you're at, it's going to feel forced. It's going to feel like you are on a cycle, like you're just spinning your wheels. So for me, I know that surrendering equals peace. Surrendering equals fulfillment. Surrendering equals success. And that does not have to be a 6-figure team or a millionaire team. You can still surrender and be that brand promoter and still show up as you. So, pain is fuel to my surrender, you guys. When I have anxiety, or when I face rejection in my business or my life, and when I feel let down in a situation, that is my fuel to surrender. It's almost like a reminder of what I need to let go of. And that's right in front of me, that pain, what I'm feeling, that emotion, because if I hold on to it, I'm just not going to feel, I'm going to feel defeated. I'm not going to feel fulfilled. So that's a very important part for me of surrendering to things I cannot control and respecting the season you are in. Do you respect your business? Do you respect where you're at? Because that is a huge part of getting to that next level of leadership and that next level of belief is where you are. No matter how long you've been in, no matter if you have earned a bonus or not, you still respect that you are where you are because that's where you're meant to be. It's being in alignment right there. Like that's just such a powerful thing for me when I look at my business and I say, okay, I've been here for this long, but I am still showing up and I respect where I'm at because where I'm going is so much bigger. So, oh, I don't know what I just hit. Okay. Every day. So it's a every morning process. I want you guys to start surrendering it. And what that looks like is just being in that power greater than yourself or writing it down on paper. I surrender this right now. The hard things I'm facing, the anxiety I'm feeling, or the emotional roller coaster I'm on, if you're up and down, because that was me, I just had to let go of that and write that on your piece of paper. And you will look back 6 months at that piece of paper and you're going to be so dang proud of yourself at how far you've come. So that's another way to let go of those things and even burn that piece of paper, rip it up, throw it in the trash. And it's just such a freeing feeling. So I want to go into a little bit about my experience, you guys. And then I'm going to go into the social media tips and things that I want to share with you guys before this is done with. I don't know what quick success looks like. Okay. Quick success does not exist in my eyes. I think you can be successful as a 4K. I think you can be successful when you wake up in the morning and you're fulfilled, when you are operating out of gratitude, when you have when you have an abundant mindset and you're no longer thinking that you can't impact someone with your story. So that is where my mindset was for a very long time. I knew someone needed this business. I knew that even in the long periods of time that I was 4K. So when I came in, I hit my VIPs, I went 4K, and then that was it. So I stayed 4K for 14 months and I was very consistent, but what kept me here and what kept me going is the fact that I wanted this so bad. I wanted to be successful and I wanted the freedom that these women were talking about, right? You see these leaders, you want what they have, you're doing what they're doing, but it's like, it comes down, for me, it was just being so committed, being all in. And that's where I had that shift in my business when I was no longer 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I had a lot of doubts, but I still kept going, you guys. When it got hard, it come down to how bad I wanted it. It come down to what was important to me and the people that I wanted to impact. And the team that I have today wasn't the team that I had a year ago, but if I would have given up, that team would not be here. The women that are in my life today would not be in my life because I would have given up. So if you think about walking away, or if you think about having a plan B, you're kind of giving your team in the future a slap in the face. And that's kind of a selfish rooted kind of thing. So I had to make it about others. I had to make sure that when I got on my social media, that I was making it about other people. I was giving them value and sharing what was important to me, not trying to fake it. So I hope this is making sense, you guys. So yes, y'all, I'm looking at my notes. They're scattered, you guys. But how bad do you want success? When you think about the hard times, you have to keep going in those moments because most people stop. There's a percentage that scares me to death of people that quit, that throw in the towel, that don't give themselves a chance because it got hard. And it's sad to me to know that every single one of you on here tonight are serious about your business. You're showing up, you're rooted, you're ready to go. So every single day, what is your passion? are you lighting your fire every day with things that fulfill you? And where's that passion at? Because for me, I'm very passionate about recovery. Okay. I'm a former addict, for those who don't know. And, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about helping other addicts. That is my passion. So when I show up for this business, I incorporate that into what I'm sharing, if that makes sense. It's your fives, your brand, your passion. You have to find that passion in your heart that lights you up, that you will not shut up about, that you were ready to share. So that was me. I never stopped sharing my story and my being vulnerable and loud about where I come from, guys. Vulnerability is so important. And I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent because this is not on my notes, but I asked the Holy Spirit to come into this Zoom with me. So we're going with it. Vulnerability is one of the most powerful things any woman could ever tap into. And that's where I've built to 40K, is being vulnerable. It's not being scared to talk about things that hurt me. Being loud and proud about the pain that I went through, the hard things that I've overcome, because I talk about it in a way that's empowering. I don't talk about my pain as, oh, feel sorry for me, kind of like a pity thing. I talk about my pain as a way out, because this business was a way out. This was a complete new life that was unveiled to me that I want other people to hear about. So that's where maybe you need to shift in your business, is sharing the hard things and not being afraid. And I mean, every single day, you guys, I was sharing my story every day, and it may sound repetitive, but that's what you're supposed to do. Being repetitive is what we do. And that is very important. And, I just don't want you guys to think that there's a recipe or a formula to work your business, because it's being yourself. It's showing up as you. It's knowing what your passion is and being vulnerable about it. Vulnerability is where my power is. So where's your vulnerability at? Are you afraid to talk about those things? Or maybe you need to dive into a little bit more of that connection with your audience, because I will go on my stories and straight up talk about my years in addiction and not be afraid. I mean, I think that's just because I've gotten so repetitive with what I'm sharing. So when you are repetitive or you feel that way, that's a good thing. You're getting yourself into a routine. So that's where I've built my business. So I'm just crazy right now, y'all. Now I want to talk about the tips that I want to share, and a little bit about attraction marketing, kind of just what I mentioned, but dive a little bit deeper into it, guys. We don't want to post graphics, right? We're not a walking, talking ad of Thrive. We're not an advertisement. We're an advertisement for ourselves. We promote who we are. So for me, I like to take intentional time with my fives every day. So I'm sharing one thing in my fives list a day from each list. So I'm going to bring it back to the basics with you guys tonight. Maybe you need some reminders, but this is how I train my team. This is how I do my one-on-ones with my new promoters. Your fives list is your power place. That's what you promote, is your fives. So you pull one thing from each list every day and talk about that. So you want to know your fives for your business, and fives for your products, and fives for who you are. So I'm going to give you an example. For me, my fives is faith, about who I am. One of my fives for my products is that they are felt day one. And one of my fives for the business is that we do not cold message. Okay, so how am I going to talk about that in my business for that day? I'm going to show up on my stories and talk about my faith, talk about how God is in my life, what he's done for me, and mention God and talk about me in that post. And then when it comes to my stories, I might do an opportunity story about how we don't call message. And then I'll go hands-free about how I felt these products day one. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. That's how I make sure that I'm showing my love for the products. I'm showing me, and I'm showing the opportunity, a little bit about my story. So pull one thing from your list every day to keep you on track, to keep you on the basics. And being intentional. I wasn't intentional for a very, very long time in my business. And I think that's honestly why I stayed so stagnant, was because when I got on my phone, I was doing IPAs, but I wasn't building connections. And I want to bring this up to you guys. If you are having trouble with people in your inbox or building those relationships, you can go into your groups that you're in on Facebook. Now, I'm not an Instagram savvy, getting to learn Instagram, but for Facebook, if you are having trouble with this area, go into your groups and post in those groups. I actually did one today in a Life with Boys group and talking about how Lincoln is passy free. And I had a lot of interaction in that. So it's just really posting in those groups and being interactive. If you're not seeing those people in your inbox, if you're not having those connections with people, and it'll start to come naturally when you put yourself out there and say, hey, like, this is maybe introduce yourself in one of those groups. Or if you're not a mom, you're a dog mom, introduce your dog, talk about his or her name and what you guys like to do and things like that. So introduce yourself in those groups and see who comments and talk to those people. And I also wanted to touch on this, you guys. If you are sharing things that are not you're sharing other posts and sharing other videos from other groups, I want you to know that crushes your algorithm. And it it doesn't allow you to get more exposure if you're sharing other things in your newsfeed, in your page. So not a lot of people will see your stuff. So I hope that you guys are sharing your posts only and nothing else, because that's you and your brand and your storefront. And if you did not update your Facebook app, I would encourage you to do that, because now where you can pin your post to the top of your page, that is so neat. So I have done that for the last week. I'll go in and change my post once a week to make sure when someone comes to my page, the very first post that they're seeing is going to be business related, it's going to be me related, or it's going to be product related. Kind of been alternating. So right now it's product related. And when someone goes to my page, they're going to see what I have to say. And it's not like, hey, these are these 3 steps, this is what's in them. It's more of like, hey, these vitamins changed my life, and this is how. So there's a big difference. So just some things I wanted to share about that. Kaylee, you pin it by going to the 3 dots in the top right, clicking on it, and just click pin post, and it'll automatically pin. That's it for an updated app for Facebook. And I think that's really cool because people get to see your favorite post. It's like your favorite post of yourself. You could do you and your family. You could do you and the community, whatever that looks like. So that's just something that I've been doing lately. And oh, Holly, I'm sorry, honey. Well, it might take a minute for it to update. I know my sister's, I don't think hers is like that either. So it might take a couple minutes or a couple of days. Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, that's so good that, you know, you can share you and your product story versus what's in the products. Guys, like when I bring on new promoters, I like to really emphasize on what our passion is, and that's helping other people, and that's sharing what we love about the products. Because I don't want them, I just don't want you guys to think that you have to be detail oriented when it comes to the PDFs and the ingredients and all of those things, because it's really about your experience, your testimony. Day 1, how did you feel? What was that like? Were you excited? Were you productive? Did you have coffee that day? Did you ever drink water before Thrive? What's your favorite DFT? Do you scream that, guys? My social media knows TAC is my favorite. But before that, they knew Ultra was, because I would talk about that all the time. And I did it in a way that was me. I would just go on my stories and I would say, you guys, this appetite control is so great. Like, I haven't snacked all day. I haven't had a single sweet thing, and I'm drinking my water. And I have energy too. Like, I don't even think Ultra has caffeine in it, but I still feel good. I still feel like I have energy. It's weird. Yeah, the pinned post is so fun, guys. Yeah, it's so fun. And yeah. So, I think that's so cool. So yeah, just getting your testimony out there, guys. I encourage you to do that this week. And do not be hard on yourself. So that's where the surrendering comes back in and taking the pressure off of yourself to say, this is my business. I'm going to take responsibility. And I'm also going to let go of the things that do not serve me. Because those negative, limited beliefs are not serving the woman you're becoming. Because when I think about the Olivia in a year, who that is, how does she talk? What's her heart posture? Is she ready to serve women to the top? Like, is she going to be on fire? That's me. Like, that's what I think about. And I want you guys to look forward to that woman. Look forward to that year from now when you're going to just be totally different. You're going to be night and day because of the work you're doing now, right? So, I hope this is all making sense. Don't share other groups. It's your kind of just some tips. We're not a walking ad. That's most of what I got, but I wanted to dive more into some of this. But your morning routine, guys, please get into something that works for you. I have a goal of getting up at 7 o'clock every morning, but you don't have to have other people's goals. Your goals are your goals. And I want you to write them down. And I want you to feel your goals. Like that's what you're going to do every day and be committed to that. Because for me, 6 months ago, I would not be consistent with waking up early. I wouldn't. Today, my vision, I think about that when my alarm goes off. If I even sleep past my alarm. I'm up before my alarm now. But if I sleep till my alarm, I think about that vision. I'm so conditioned now to think, okay, Liv, you want your own home? I will self-talk and tell myself this in the bed and be like, you want a millionaire team, $million team. You want to be millionaire mom. You want a house. You want this. You want that. You want to be debt free. You want to pick up the bills for an aunt. Like I will say these things. Like you can't sleep another minute. And it pulls me up and it reminds me and it gets me back into alignment because I've just gotten so clear.
Olivia,
yes.
Everybody's saying there's a lot of people in the waiting room.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Karen.
We love you.
Love you. Thank you. This format is so weird on my laptop, guys. I am so sorry for those in the waiting room for that long. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so when you're like laying in bed or you feel that resistance or someone says that they're going to order on a certain day, guys, I don't want you to ever place expectations on other people in your business. You can't afford it. You can't afford it because the life that you're creating for yourself. If you place expectations on other people, you are going to get so defeated. I'm sorry, but you're going to go to your enroller and you're going to feel so annoying and you're just going to be like, what am I doing wrong? You're going to make it about you. You're going to question your capability. You're going to be in lack, complete lack when you do that. So for me, when someone tells me that they're going to order on a certain day, or if someone tells me they're going to do something, I don't put my full faith and hope into that. Okay. I don't place that expectation. I just smile and I'm like, okay, I'm so excited for you to get started. I can't wait. I'll talk to you then, and then I'm on to the next life. I'm on to changing that next person's life. I'm on to adding more value. I'm on to batching more content or whatever I'm doing. So I think that's so important when you stop and you hear that response or you have someone tell you that they will do something. You're just gonna be like, okay, I'm so excited, but you take it as a grain of salt. And that was something I learned going, but right before I went 12K was no more expectations. It was a golden rule. It's a golden rule for myself because I would go to M and I would be like, well, what's wrong with me? This person said they were going to, like, did I say the wrong thing? And I would make it about me, but that's so selfish. That's so mediocre, and that to me is not where I want you guys to play small. Like, I don't want y'all to play small. I don't want you guys to be at that level. I want you guys to have a mindset of a strong empowerment, like just that value, that woman you're becoming. Get excited, guys. Keeping fun in the middle of your business is so important. So that's another thing I took 2 different types of notes because I messed up on the first one. See, I'm so normal, you guys. Like, I'm just so imperfect. That's one thing, is being joyful in your business and waking up and not saying, oh, I gotta put up a post today. Oh man, I gotta go add to my network. What? I didn't do that today. And then you're just beating yourself up, because I did that for a while and I was not happy in my business, and my social media could sense that in my posts, in my live videos, in the way my energy was, because your vibe attracts your tribe is the most truest statement you could ever hear. And the energy and the things that you tell yourself is what you're going to receive. So when I am having fun in my business, I'm building connections with people. I am, looking at gratitude every day, and I'm sharing that. And when you guys, let me tell you something about gratitude. Like, I wasn't speaking gratitude for a long time. I would say I was too busy, and before, in the beginning of my business, I was very passionate about gratitude. I believe so much in what it can do for our mindset. But there was a time where I stopped saying my gratitudes. I would get easily angered. I would get frustrated. I would get so unaligned. And I just, even in my Bible, I would, gratitude is the most sacred thing we could do as women, is taking that every single day, speaking that gratitude out. Grateful for the running water. You're grateful for your car. You're grateful for the roof over, the smallest thing, the roof over your head. That is so powerful. And I know that when I do my gratitude, nothing can touch me that day. Nothing. No family member, nothing out external, nothing, not the devil, nothing. Oh yeah, I see. Wow, you made a mess. Imagine that. I think there's more people in the waiting room. No, okay. Okay. That gratitude is so special. It's sacred. And it, the more you say it, the more you're gonna show up different. The more you're going to just be that powerhouse. I want each and every one of you as women to become so confident and rooted in why you started and where you're going, because it's so easy. It's so easy to look at our results today and be like, oh, she's got that. Oh, she's successful. Man, it worked out for her. She went 200K. I've said it. I know. And that's when I'm going to feel stuck, and I'm going to feel like I'm not serving anyone. So I want you to make this next week, keeping it simple, your 5s, and serving others, make it about other people. When you show up, talk to that one person. Because here's the thing, guys, I'm still in the habit of doing this. When I go on hands-free on my stories, I'm always like, hey, you guys, or hey, everyone. And I want to cut that. And I want to just say, hey, talk to one person. That connection with one individual, not your whole entire social media, but that one person that's watching. And I just want to say, hey, and then leave it at that. And then if you have been watching, not have you all been watching, I want it to be that one person I'm speaking to that's been watching forever. That's, been on the sidelines, but she knows she can kill it. Like, that was me. I watched him for 6 days after we had talked, and what she was telling me, I already knew that I was going to be successful here with Thrive. I already knew it because of her conversation with me, what she was telling me, the questions I asked, and how she was giving off her energy to me. I knew Lavelle was home. I knew it. So that's what I try to give my audience every day, is that glimpse into Lavelle, that glimpse into the community, that glimpse into who we are in attraction marketing. Because so many people right now on your social media, guys, are thinking they need experience, or thinking that it's just for people at the top or whatever. So I talk about that with my audience, and I tell them, because that's what attracted me to M, was branding myself. was sharing me and what I loved. And that's fulfilling, you guys. Women want that. Women want community, and men too. Men too. So I always say women. I forget to say men. So, Claudia, you're so sweet. I'm seeing some of the, see, I can only see the chat and then the waiting room. So I'm back and forth. But yeah, just remember when you want to place value, it's that person that's watching that's scared to say they're interested, that's scared to ask a question, because that's why we don't preach. That's why we don't preach ingredients and all the ins and outs of the comp plan and go right into detail about everything, because people are going to forget that. People aren't going to be attracted to that. They're going to be attracted about that auto bonus you're working towards, or that next goal you have, or bills on auto pay, or picking up the bills at my Nana's house. Like, I talk about that. And that's my personal life, guys. And people see that. And I think that's why I, have taken, I've taken my business to such a next level, because I stopped playing small. I went 40K living with my 80-year-old Nana, you guys. Like, I don't travel. I don't go anywhere. I don't have a social life. I don't do anything at all. At all. I stay home with my son and take care of him, because now I'm a stay-at-home mom. But before, like when COVID hit and I had to come home, I was living with my Nana, and that was it. I got creative with the ways I was showing up on social media. I got creative with my pictures, with my captions, with my stories, with my apps. I actually started investing in Unfold and Canva and, Teza and all the other ones that you could do, because I wasn't working this business as a business. I was playing small. So I wanted what women have. I do what they do. And I would hear, your fives, your brand, who you are. And then I would think about, oh, I'm living with my Nana, but people don't want to see that. I'm on government assistance. I was on government assistance for most of my life, you guys, most of my life. And that was what I was exposed to for a very long time, in and out of rehab and treatment and jail and institutions. And I was like, well, what do I use that as my power, you guys. I use that as my fuel, my motivation. Because I was like, hey, hold up. This industry can turn nobodies into millionaires. This can turn felon into, like, okay, I'm going to be loud about that, because that's what I wanted so bad. And I think that's, just very important that you see your story is not too small. What you're dealing with is not too small. I think we just get caught up with looking left and right in that comparison, because, we're human. We're natured that way. We're wired that way to look at other people's success, but don't let that intimidate you. Don't let that be something that you can't achieve. I saw M and I was like, I want what she has. I wasn't intimidated by M. I wasn't like, oh, I'm jealous. I'm comparing myself. I never thought of that about M, because of her presence, her social media presence, her authenticity, her passion. That's what I wanted. I was like, oh my gosh, she's the youngest millionaire in Lavelle. She became the youngest millionaire in Lavelle. That inspired me so much. I wasn't like, oh, that can't happen for me. It's like, that's proof. That's proof. Like, let's go. Like, I'm doing this. So I hope this is making sense, you guys. If you all have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat if you want to ask. And I will stop talking and end this. If you all don't have any questions, I'm just looking back here at the chat. Hi, guys. Y'all are so awesome. Yes. I don't know how many times I asked if I was making sense. I'm going to stop recording.